भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om. Salutations to all. We will chant Sadhana Panchakam, first 4 verses. You will have in your book. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushtiyatam tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kamye matistyajatam पापौघः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छाव्यवसीयतां निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम्। सङ्गसत्सु विधीयतां भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढाधीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयतां दृढतरम् कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वानुपसृप्यतां प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यतां श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्। वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयतां दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतः तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर् गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहं मतिरुज्यतां बुधजनैः वादः परित्यज्यताम्। क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकित्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यतां स्वाद्वन्नं न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यताम् शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपा नैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम्। So the 4th verse is the fine tuning. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan was explained earlier, and then one has to fine tune the personality to benefit more from this Jnana Sadhana. So in that context, we have seen 6 instructions in this, that Kshudvyadhischa Chikitsyatam Pratidinam Bhikshaushadham Bhujyatam. Treat hunger as a disease and take food as a medicine. And whatever one gets, vidhivashat praptena santushyatam. Be happy with what one gets. Don't crave for taste. Then it was said, vidivashat praptena santushyatam. Then shitoshnadi vishahyatam. Be equanimous in the pairs of opposites. Natu vritha vakyam samucharyatam. Don't utter vain words and don't gossip. You know, speech is the second largest consumer of energy. In Vivek Chudamani, Shankaracharya ji says, Yogasya prathamadvaraha vang nirodha iti uchyate. First step in yoga will be controlled speech. I'm not talking about yogasana. I'm talking about uniting with the cell. Because speech will make the mind extrovert. Without mind becoming extrovert, speech will not function. To speak, some thought has to arise first. Then the desire will be there to speak, to communicate. If I see somebody, then I want to tell something. So now the mind has become extrovert. When we practice Maun Sadhana and all that, then the mind also becomes quiet. It's not only speech quietude. The mind becomes quiet. So the urge to speak, to communicate, to go out through the senses, all that becomes lesser. So that's why he says control of the speech. Vang nirodha. Yogasya prathamadvaraha vang nirodha iti uchyate. Now he says, Audasinyam abhipsyatam. Be indifferent. Udasina means indifferent. Now, indifferent doesn't mean I don't do my duties. Ut means up. Asina means to sit. Udasina means to be centered in something higher and rise above this pettiness in life. So many little things we get stuck with. And this calculativeness, idle talk, low thoughts, all these, the mind gets stuck in all that. Pettiness. So rise above that pettiness. Have higher vision, have higher goal. And for a seeker, the highest goal is moksha, realization. Why will one get stuck in ordinary petty little things? It's not about only the things, it is about the mindset. Calculative all the time. It doesn't mean one should not be smart. Suppose we say, what is the example of pettiness? Like a small child will cry for a chocolate. From the standpoint of the elder, that crying for a chocolate is pettiness or not? Why is he crying for a chocolate? दे देंगे जब मिलेगा तभी. But for the child, it is everything. Very, very important. If you don't give it, it is sad. Same way, so many people are stuck in so many small things. What one already has, one is not bothered about that. What one is not having, the mind is stuck with that. Stuck with people, stuck with some comments, stuck with some situation that did not happen. Pettiness, little things one will be stuck with. What this person told me 10 years back, I still remember. Now I'm going on brooding over that. I don't like this person because of that. That person said also and forgot, gone, over. But now that small thing has gone in. You know, they have they have many series of books for different age groups. And the title is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Have you read any of those books? Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. It's a fat book. Like that, they have for men, they have for women, they have for teenagers. Don't sweat the small stuff for teenagers. So what are the petty little things that teenagers will get stuck with, or men will get stuck with, or women will get stuck with, or working professionals will get stuck with? They have a full series of books like that. So at least one becomes aware that, oh, these are the things unnecessarily. And we think when we don't have a bigger vision or something inspiring to hold on to, these petty things become everything. One will sulk for days on end, just for some petty thing. So udasinam, because indifference if I don't have, then I cannot focus my mind on the higher things. So simple living and high thinking. Tapan Maharaj used to live like that. Simple living, high thinking. So doesn't mean insensitivity, or I am greater than you, or emotionalism, any of that. It only means that my mind is inspired with something higher and I want my time and space to focus on that. I choose not to be petty. I choose to live inspired. Now that you can apply in everything, in speech also, what was said in the earlier instruction. Some people's speech also is petty. Their level of conversation also will be very ordinary. Nothing wrong in asking, how are you, what is happening, this, that. But after that, it will go. Backbiting will start, gossiping will start, some criticizing will start, something will start. What they say, no? Great minds discuss ideas, mediocre minds discuss events, low minds discuss people. Another place I read, a gossip is one who talks about others. A bore is one who talks about oneself. Got stuck with that only. Small little things. So for a seeker, it is not worth. Have a higher vision. Talk about greater things. How do I serve the society? How can I contribute to the country? How can I become a cultural ambassador? Share the culture with people. How can I empower the youth? What new thing am I learning in my life? Continuously, something inspiring should be there. So the single pointed attention to the goal and being indifferent to everything else which is just going to distract me. That is called udasin. Many people think udasin means no interest in life, no enthusiasm in life, udas ho gaye. No. Udas is different from udasin. Udasin means to rise high. Udas means be sad and goes down. So audasinyam abhipsyatam. Some of these great Mahatmas will be udasin towards their body also. So they literally live in that attitude that the body is a bundle of dirt and filth. And what has to be done? But we have been brought up like that, and the things that are presented to us also are like that, as though the body is everything. It's just a bundle of flesh, bones. We saw this in where we saw. Not only Bhaja Govindam, in this Vedant, in Foundation Vedant course, the Bhaja Govindam also it comes, but in this Advanced Vedant course, Atma definition, you remember? What is the definition of Atma? Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirad Vyatirekta Panchakoshātītā San Avasatraya Sakshi Sachidananda Swarupa San Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. 10% of people know it. I got an idea. No reevaluation. Your graduation will be 2 bowls of chits. One bowl of chit is the name of the person. That person will come. Other bowl of chit is random questions. Pick up the question. If you are able to answer it, certificate aapka. If you are not able to answer it, certificate mera. How do I know that you know this thoroughly? You may have opened the book, written the answer, and forgotten after it. Because of objective test. वो subjective रहता तो पता नहीं और क्या हो जाता कि जितने attempt कर रहे थे वो भी नहीं करते. Good idea, na? Now let's do. Tomorrow करना तो पड़ेगा. कोर्स कंप्लीशन में अगर आपको फंडामेंटल्स जो कोर्स के हैं वो पता नहीं है तो कोर्स कैसे कंप्लीट हुआ? एंड दिस कोर्स तो आई डिड इट in a lenient way, and I have done it as a one-way thing. I am only talking. I didn't have enough time. Otherwise, I would have made you talk. Come and talk. Atma pe baat karo. Mahavakya pe baat karo. Because then only, see, when we start talking, then we understand how much we understood. Otherwise, it's an illusion that I know. And then when we have to speak, Then suddenly I was, अच्छा, ऐसा था? Oh, I didn't know only. There's a difference between Vakya and Mahavakya. Oh. Then it starts, when we have to speak and we have to explain to somebody, and especially if that person asks a doubt, then you had it. If they create a doubt and ask you, so I should have taken Viva for each of you. कि चलो आपका Viva आज. टाइम नहीं था उतना, बट नेक्स्ट कोर्स में जब जो भी करेगा उनको मैं आइडिया दे दूंगा. यू डू लाइक दिस. बट ग्रेजुएशन में तो ये होगा, अच्छा है. वन आइटम ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन विल बी, आप लोग कुछ प्रेजेंट तो कर नहीं रहे हो, तो फिर अच्छा होगा. स्पॉन्टेनियस. Now you see, everybody start cancelling. Huh? That's why I'm saying, see, so this Atma, when we spoke about in that Sthula Sharira, it came. In that Sthula Sharira, we have discussed Panchi Krita Panchama Bhutaihi Kritam. It's made up of 5 elements. So many Mahatmas, they will be indifferent to the body. Tapan Maharaj was very indifferent to the body. He would care for the body as an instrument, but beyond that, nothing. In cold season there, he will not even go near fire there. Kailash Yatra, we are going now. Those who are coming to Kailash, Mansarovar, I will give you that book of Tapan Maharaj. Read that book. Because after you read that book, when you come on that yatra, no questions can be asked. Because how he went and how we will go, with all comfort, luxury, this, that, everything. And how he went, one pair of clothes. That's all. Barefoot. No flight, no helicopter. Walking. When he reached there, so he was almost dead. Can you imagine surviving in that cold? Once you reach there, some of you who are coming, then you will know how cold it is there. And he had nothing. He thought, Bhagwan, chalo, now I've reached here. Now you take. This body has to die. It will die now. Next day morning, he woke up. Weak, very weak, exhausted. But even in that state, what does his mind say? His mind says, God must be having some purpose for this body to fulfill. That's why he has kept it alive still. I thought it would be the end of this body. That was his state. Udasin, absolutely. No panic. And our yatra, every day one fellow will come and he will check oxygen level kitna hai. Niche gira kya? BP niche gira kya? Kya ho gaya? And drink coffee, eat biscuit, do this, lemon water. Tapan Maharaj just went. Audasinyam. Because they live in a state which is so high, that body, etc. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, udasin towards his cancer. And he's saying, I don't ask Mother Kali for petty little things. Devotees are telling him, tell Mother Kali to cure your cancer. He says, I don't ask the mother for petty things. That is audasinyam towards the body. That is called Vedanta. If one wants to live Vedanta, no, that is called living Vedanta. No body identification at all. Till one doesn't come to that, Vedanta is only information. It may inspire a little bit. One can give good talks also. But how much is the attachment to the body, the notion that I am this body? That shows how much grounding in Vedanta is there. So he did that. That is called rising above pettiness. So attachment to the body is the root cause of everything. And that is what is petty. Which makes the infinite appear as the finite is this body identification. So audasinyam abhipsyatam janakripa naishturyam utsrujyatam. Go beyond the, don't fall for the obligation of people. Janakripa. Because when a person lives as a bhikshu, as a sadhu, sannyasi, as we saw earlier, the verse started by saying, Shudhyadhischa chikitsatam pratidinam bhiksha ushadam bhujyatam. So one asks for bhiksha. It may be anna bhiksha, it may be some clothes, it may be some anything, some material requirement. or it may be something for the organization. Whatever one is asking, what does Shankaracharya mean here? Jana kripa naishthurya mutsrijyatam. See, people will give, no doubt. They will support. So one feels grateful to them, supporting the person, the needs of the person, or the organization and the cause that the person is serving. People will support. But and one can be thankful to them, grateful to them, think that Bhagavan only is helping you through them. May God bless them, wish well for them also, and genuinely pray for their well-being. But no need to come under any pressure. They are not doing any favor on you or on the organization. Because sometimes the people will do this. Just because they give something or they give some donation or they are, supporting in some major way, they will try to twist the arm. And some people come under the obligation also and do the wrong thing also if required. That he says, don't do all that. One big industrialist, when Gurudev was there, they formed one, they came, they were quite close to Gurudev. So then Gurudev was speaking about his vision for Harihar School. Harihar School is vocational schools along with the regular curriculum of the state board or a CBSE board in the villages. The vision that Gurudev had was that the village youth should not migrate to the city in search of a job and education. If we are able to give them knowledge in the village itself and also give them vocational training whereby they can earn livelihood, then they don't have to migrate to the cities, and then we make the villages only self-sufficient and develop them. Some big plan was made. The industrial group and the industrialist came forward and they said, we will also support, and some 30-40 schools were supposed to be opened in the whole country. Last meeting, when Gurudev was being shown all the plans, everything, last meeting, this industrialist comes and says that till you are there, this will function like this. After you go, all the schools will come solely under our group. Is this acceptable to you? Gurudev said, don't put conditions on a sannyasi. I'm not doing business here. I'm doing service. Support if you want to. Otherwise you leave. This is God's work. It will happen. That person left. And Gurudev's work didn't stop. We have Harihar schools. It's going on. So the idea is that people try to twist the arm. I've given this much donation, now give me this seat. Arre, just because you have supported, how? But they will twist. Because there are so many education institutions and education today, now they will say, now give me this seat, give me this management quota, falana, dhikna. Person may not even be meritorious. But they will twist. Gurudev would not come under the obligation of anybody. All great masters are like that, because are they doing anything for themselves? No, they're doing for the society. Even if they have to ask money from somebody, they will not hesitate to ask, because for what is that money? Society's money is going for society's work. Why should I hesitate to ask? But people will hesitate to ask, and those who give, people feel very obliged to them. Then when they want some special favor, these people will return. You know in the Gita I said, who is a yogi? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshina. That person may be a very learned person. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmana. It may be a Brahmana who has great knowledge, all qualities, everything. Or a cow. Or a elephant. Brahmane Gavi Hastini. Shuni Chaiva. Dog. Or Shvapakecha, dog eater. Right from Brahmana onwards to the dog eater, everybody, Pandita Samadarshina, they have equal vision for all. They don't discriminate. Action-wise, they may relate to each other appropriately. To a dog, they will not feed grass. To a cow, they will feed grass. That is functional difference. Psychologically, no obligation, no superiority, no inferiority, nothing. So Janakripa Naishturya Mutsrijyatam. So be grateful, don't yield to their pressure. Always focus on giving more than what we take. And we should always remember our commitment to dharma and our commitment to truth is above commitment to anybody else. You see this point, you see in Mahabharata how it clearly comes. Why do you think Bhishma and Drona and Karna, Kripacharya, why did all of these people fight from the side of the Kauravas? Though they know that Kauravas are doing adharma, they had to fight from the side of Kauravas. Why? Because of this. Janakripa it is called. Because they have fed me, now I have to be loyal to them. Meaning the price of my loyalty is bought by them by the salary and the money and the food they have given. And that's so cheap it is. No doubt one should be loyal to the master. But if the master is doing adharma, in today's context, if anybody is helping somebody who is doing a crime, that person also will be charged, no? What they call, if they aid, they will call abetting. They are together or they are abetting or they are causing them to do something. Legally, they are not, that's not correct. They will be punished. Crime, depending on the level of the crime, seriousness of the crime, their involvement, the punishment may be more or less, but they will still be charged. So Bhishma, Drona, all wise people. One person who stood up, very interesting. What Bhishma, Drona, etc. could not do, one son of Dhritarashtra did it. Who was that? Yuyutsu. Yuyutsu walked out. Just before the war has to happen, once again the call is given that if anybody wants to shift the sides, you can shift. One Yuyutsu walks out, goes to the Pandava side. Think, in front of 40 lakh people, this one man had the courage. He said, these people are wrong. They may be my brothers or whoever they are. I am going to go on the side of dharma. And he walks out. Arjun from that side comes, stands in the battle in the between and collapses. And this Yuyutsu walks, goes that side. That's clarity in thinking. And last minute he made the choice and he went. And this is what Krishna taught Bhishma. When he took his wheel and he charged at Bhishma, he taught him this, for the sake of dharma, to protect dharma, if you have to break your own oath, you should have broken it. Krishna broke his oath, no? He said, I will never lift a weapon. But when dharma is in danger, what good is your oath? Your oath should help in protection and propagation of dharma. If your oath becomes a cause to destroy dharma, then that oath is useless. So Krishna charged at him. He broke his own oath to teach Bhishma this lesson. So Janakripa Naishturyam Utsrijyatam. Not to come under the obligation of anybody. Now these are all fine tunings. Now comes the last part. When a person is doing steady contemplation, what will happen to that person? What is the next step? Nididhyasana is steady contemplation. After that, with samadhi. Savikalpa first, then Nirukalpa, then Sahaj. थोड़ा धीरे से ट्यूबलाइट चालू हो रहा है. So now next verse is about that. Ekante sukhamasyatam Paratare Cheta Samadhiyatam Purnatma Susamikshyatam Jagadidam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam Prakarma Pravilapyatam Chitibalat Napyuttaraishlisyatam Prarabdham Tviha Bhujyatam Athapara Brahmatmana Sthiyatam. So once the fine tuning has happened, then what should one do? Ekante Sukham Asyatam. Spend time in solitude. And then what should I do in solitude? Paratare Cheta Samadhiyatam. Engage and absorb the mind in that supreme truth. Get into samadhi. And what to experience in samadhi? Thoughtlessness. No. Purnatma Susamikshatam. Comprehend that pure self, which is of the nature of completeness, fulfillment. Experience that, Susamikshatam. And having experienced that, what should I do? I realize the truth, but you people are ignorant. Will that is the bhav of this realized person? No. Jagadidam tad badhitam drishyatam. This whole world is an appearance of that self. One will see that. This whole universe is only that one self. Then how to live here? Prakarma pravilapyatam chiti balat. All the karma which one has cultivated so far, that sanchit karma, will all go away by this steady contemplation in the state of realization, all burnt. Prakarma pravilapyatam chiti balat. Na api uttarai shlishyatam. And because there is no ego, what happens? New karma is not getting added. Existing karma got exhausted. Getting exhausted, not got exhausted. That is prarabdham tviha bhujyatam. Existing karma is getting exhausted till the body lasts. This will be going on. Bundles of karma collected in the past life, what happens? Burn. And while acting now, because there is no ego and egocentric desires, the new karma is not getting created for this person. But whatever karma is being done after the jnani realizes the truth, whatever karma is still happening. Karta is not there, so karma phala will not come to this person. But somewhere it has to go. Where will it go? Huh? Punya goes to devotees and Papa goes to critics. वाह, ये तो बहुत जल्दी बोल दिया आपने. Because ये पता था कि ये हमको affect होगा. Punya will come to us, Papa will go to critics. So prakarma pravilapyatam chitibalat napyuttara shlishyatam. Prarabdham tviha bhujyatam. Let the prarabdha get exhausted. With detachment you go through it, because you are not this jiva or this body. It will go through. Then how will you remain? Parabrahmatmana sthiyatam. Remain as Brahman. You are pure consciousness. So it started with what? Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Study the Vedas daily. And the result of that will be Parabrahmatmana sthiyatam. Stay as Parabrahman. So solitude. What is solitude? You know, the moment we say solitude, people get scared. Akile? Camp also they don't come alone. To realize Brahman, they want company. अकेले चलो, नहीं मेरे साथ कोई तो चलना चाहिए. And that same person needs to be with them full time. Huh? Solitude. There's so much of joy. Gurudev used to say, if you cannot enjoy your own company, why inflict it on other people? If I live alone, I should be able to enjoy my company. What is solitude? Once you start loving solitude, there is so much of joy. in solitude. It's very essential even for beginners. If you learn to drive two-wheeler, you need solitude or not? Otherwise, what will happen? So many accidents will happen. You will fall, you will hit somewhere, something will happen. I need space. I need people to be moved around, move and keep away. Then I can learn to drive. Spiritual life also, solitude is required. It's not only for the advanced seekers. In fact, in the beginning, solitude is required more. Not only solitude is required, secrecy also is required. Ramana Maharshi used to say that, do your spiritual sadhana in secret. Why? One is so that we don't make a show of it, I am so spiritual. Second, people should not become insecure. They will start thinking, he started doing spiritual sadhana, now he doesn't care, now he will leave everything, now he will go away. So do in spiritual silence, in secrecy, the spiritual sadhana. So ekante sukham asyatam. So start spiritual practices in solitude, secretly. Find a quiet place, time, inside house, outside house, wherever. In today's world of social media, so this solitude is very, very important. And strange thing will be, they will go into solitude, take a picture, put it on. Experiencing joy of solitude. And then go back again and again and check how many people liked it. Then what solitude it is. Comments are coming there and they are replying also. Solitude. Some things we should do where we don't need to put on social media. No. Today we are doing everything for social media. Wear clothes also, put it on social media. Eat food also, social media. Went to movie also, social media. Doing work also, social media. Everything social media. So solitude, very, very crucial for a spiritual sadhak to cut off. Because then only I can turn within. Ekanta literally means that. So solitude, eka means one. Anta means end. Ekanta means actually single-pointedness, where I move away from all distractions, temptations, and focus on one. So it will help to withdraw, to focus. It will turn the attention on ourselves. Otherwise, we keep thinking about people and family and work and society and a lot of time. And then we only complain, Swamiji, I don't get my me time, So now take me time, do solitude. Be with the self. That's the real meaning of ekanta. Because what is eka? There's one, everything else has duality. Eka means Brahman alone. So be with that self. Like a spear, single-pointedness. So ekanta is very good if I am able to use it productively, to withdraw, to sit quietly, turn the attention to the higher. That is one meaning of ekanta. Second meaning of ekanta is where I am able to withdraw from people and spend time by myself, where I am learning something, reading something, reflecting. I may not be meditating, but I am alone, where I don't have to interact with anybody else. That will increase my ability to remain detached, remain independent. Third meaning of ekanta is where I sit and introspect. Just introspect. What is my life? Where am I headed? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What is my new resolve? Any such thing. Ekanta. So ekanta can be very productive. It does not have to be boring. And you will find a lot of joy in solitude. No, but I'm a social creature, Swamiji. I'm a party animal. I don't know why they say animal, party animal. Why can't you say I'm a party human? No, I'm a party animal. So anyway, we'll go. So one feels that, those things are, joy is there. Solitude is boring. Maybe at some stage of life one does feel like that, but as one grows, there's more joy in solitude. And in fact, more joy one starts finding in solitude. All dependencies only end. So how to practice solitude? Don't wait when I become old, then I will practice solitude. Every day spend some time doing nothing. Start with only 5 minutes. Do nothing. No movement at the body level. No phone. No planning, scheming, this I have to do, that I have to do, nothing. Just be quiet. Do nothing, or be by oneself and do something productive where no interaction with others is required for some time. Technology upvas, I told you earlier also, first 1 hour of the day and last 1 hour of the day, be by yourself. That depends on you, 1 hour or half an hour, whatever time, by oneself. Spend time with nature. Nature is a big teacher. So many things one can learn through nature only. And do certain things, as I said, yeah, by yourself, no one to be with you. Example, morning walk. Just an example. People make morning walk groups also and they go. It's very interesting to see some of them. They will not walk as a brisk walk. They will stroll along, happily talking to each other, cracking jokes, laughing, this, that. Why don't you walk briskly? No, ये हमारा group है. Chalo, it's better than not walking at all. That will be their logic. We've been doing it for so many years, now we're doing it. At least 10 minutes out of that time, be by yourself, walk briskly, come back. Exercise also will happen. Attention will happen on the body. So solitude has many, many benefits. And actually speaking, for a spiritual seeker, small doses of solitude are a must. Just like we recharge our battery, like that solitude will also recharge us. Introspection and meditation, that we spoke about. Ekante sukham asyatam paratare cheta samadhiyatam. So this you know, samadhi means dissolving the intellect. In the one thought, if it is savikalpa samadhi, and in the absolute truth, if it is nirvikalpa samadhi. So equanimity of the intellect, that is called samadhi. Absorb the intellect. How do we practice? I am sakshi, I am free, I am detached, asangoham, asangoham. This is a very nice thing. When Gurudev used to say, you don't have to go to the peak to meditate. In meditation, reach the peak. When some youngsters in Hong Kong, they went after a talk. There's a place called The Peak in Hong Kong. So after the talk got over, then Bhiksha got over, they all were in a different mood and quietude. They went to the peak. And they didn't come back. The next morning, Gurudev was going at 5 o'clock. They came straight to the ashram to see him off. And all these parents, that time no cell phone, nothing. The parents are all worried, where did the children go? And they all were near Gurudev. And these people came, youngsters. Now they thought Gurudev will fire them. So Gurudev asked them, where were you? They said, after the talk and Bhiksha and we had informal satsang, Swamiji, we felt very inspired. We wanted to just be by ourselves. So we went to the peak to meditate. But instead of firing them, Gurudev said this, you don't have to go to the peak to meditate. In meditation, reach the peak. That depends on how much vairagya I have, how much I am able to withdraw. So, ekante sukham asyatam paratare cheta samadhiyatam. And what to experience there? Not blank. Purnatma susamikshatam. See the self very clearly, without any doubt. Samadhi is that experience where I know who I am truly without any adjectives. So self is Purnatma and ego is Churnatma. So Purnatma susamikshatam. See that self. See meaning the limitation of language. It's not an object to see. Meaning experience that I am that self. And Jagadidam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam. See the whole world as an appearance of that self. This is a shloka in the Advait Makaran where he says, Asti bhati priyam rupam namached amsha panchakam. Every object has 5 things: name, form, existence, consciousness, bliss, Sachidanand. Adyatrayam jagad rupam, Adyatyam trayam brahma rupam jagad rupam tatodvayam. Sachidananda is the nature of Brahman. Name and form is the nature of Jagat. So what is this person doing when he is in Samadhi? Withdrawn completely from name and form and engaged in Sachidanand. So Purnatma Susamekshatam Jagadidam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam. So if I negate all the objects and I negate the negator also, then what remains is only the self, the Atma. Not Shunya, not blank, not thoughtlessness. Purnatma Susamekshatam Jagadidam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam. See this whole world as an appearance of self alone. So many great masters, how they live their life. Without any hatred, without any attachment, aversion. So they play the roles, but they also know that my true nature is something else. So the world appears very real to all of us. So our sadhana is then to see that the world is an illusion. And from there we will come to realize that world is nothing but appearance of self. So that way Vedantin knows this, experiences this, and the Vedantin moves ahead, doing all that one has to do in the world. Again, not prompted by his or her will. Some prarabdha karma is there, so some great masters, they withdraw and become just silent. They don't do anything. We won't even know their existence. Some great masters will speak. Ramana Maharshi, etc. They withdrew, but they used to speak now and then. Not big lectures, but they will guide people. And some people like Gurudev, Vivekananda, etc., they will elaborately explain, teach. So each one according to their prarabdha, they will manifest in the world what their destiny has been in the prarabdha karma. But their bhav is what? All the three of them are established in Brahman. So Jagadidam Tadbadhitam Drishyatam. Prakarma Pravilapyatam Chiti Balat. By contemplation, steady contemplation, and the spark that is lit in samadhi burn the entire bundle of sanchit karma. In the Gita, Bhagavan says, Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute Arjuna. This flame of knowledge, fire of knowledge. Just one matchstick of that, and what happens? Huge haystacks of, huge bundles of hay, all burned. So sanchit karma is like that. So many lives we have carried, so much karma. But in that state of samadhi, when one establishes in the self, all those, why? Because the karta is dead. When karta dies, all the karma that one has to exhaust, the karma phala, all that also burns. So prakarma pravilapyatam chiti balat. This is the subtlest thing for a person to do. To sit in samadhi, to remain absorbed in that state of samadhi and be, able to destroy this sanchit karma. Then, na apyuttaresh lishyatam. Don't create new karma. So don't be attached to the fruits in the present. See, this is an instruction for us. For that person, though, it is not an instruction actually. That person knows. Otherwise, the samadhi won't happen only. If the person has attachment to fruits and body, etc., how samadhi will happen? So this is more for us. So take things as they come, leave them as they go. Ishwar Arpan Bhav and Prasada Buddhi. That is a sadhana. The realized master actually doesn't need to do this sadhana because already experienced the truth. Still, through them, it is being told to us that Chitibalat Napyuttaresh Lishyatam. And present karma, what will you do? That you cannot escape. Prarabdham tviha bhujyatam. One has to go through it with dignity. Vivek Chudamani says they go through it how? The very body which is there, for them the body is like a garland which is there hanging on the neck of a buffalo. What difference it makes to that buffalo? Garland is there, garland is not there. Like that, body is there, body is not there. If garland falls also, the buffalo may trample that garland also and go away, go ahead. It will not bother at all. Now the buffalo feels very great. Oh, garland is on my neck. I am such a great buffalo, better than all the others. Nothing it feels. Same way, One may praise, one may criticize, but nothing happens to this Mahatma. And the body is there, great. If body is not there also. Yesterday was 16th, no? Yesterday was the Mahasamadhi day of Tapovan Maharaj. 16th January 1957. He dropped the body. Literally, he dropped the body. Ejected out of the body, went just like that, they dropped. And for us, this attachment to the body is so strong. So for them, till the prarabdha is there, body will last. They are liberated even while living. Prak karma pravilapyatam chitibalat napyutreshlisyatam prarabdham tviha bhujyatam. Then atha parabrahmatmana sthiyatam. Be established in Brahman and be like Brahman. So if I am wanting to be like Brahman, then what should I do? I should live like Brahman. Ananda Swarup is Brahman, so be happy. Abhaya Swarup is Brahman, so be fearless. Anasakta is Brahman, detached. Prema Swarupa, be loving, compassionate. Oh, but that will come only when I become Brahman. No, I can follow that even on the way. Then I will become that. So it's not only for a realized person. For all of us it is that if I want to be Brahman, then I should exhibit qualities of Brahman from now. So this is where it is. Sadhana Panchakam starts with the study of the Veda, ends with stay as Brahman. So the purpose of study is that. So this concludes our Sadhana Panchakam, and this also concludes our Advanced Vedanta course. Now 2 things I had to do. One thing was the japa has to be taught. Did you bring mala? You brought? Okay, very good. So I'm going to go through this quickly. So japa is using a mantra. So what is a mantra? Mantra is a potent spiritual sound formula. Mantra will bring out the latent potentials of the mind. It has many spiritual ideas and associations with it. So any word cannot become a mantra. And it is sound formula also. So Vedic mantra especially is a science of sound. So one should chant with the proper intonations. Otherwise the required vibratory effect will not come. Etymological meaning of the mantra is mananat trayate iti mantra, reflecting on which the mind goes across the negativities and the sense of finitude. And mantarayate iti mantra. Now japa means what? Continuous repetition of a mantra. Jakaro janma vichchedaha pakaro papanashakaha. This continuous repetition of the mantra is called japa. Like the flow of oil which is steady. The mind flows continuously towards the name of the Lord. Now, as I said, every word cannot become a mantra. So there are 6 aspects of any mantra. First is called the Rishi, especially if it is a Vedic mantra. Who is the Rishi to whom this mantra has been revealed? Who is the Devata whom we are propitiating through the mantra? What is the Chandas so that we chant it in the right meter? What is the seed, the source of the mantra? That's called Bija. Then Kilakam, meditate on this to enter the heart. And Shakti, which is the power of the Lord. In that mantra, what is the Shakti? So the mantra itself will have Bija, Kilakam and Shakti. Even Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranam, before you start the Parayan, if you read the verses before that, it will say, who is the Rishi, who is the Chanda, Devata, Shakti, Bija, Kilakam, everything will say. Even Gita, before we read the whole Gita, one portion will be there before this, explaining all these 6. So this then becomes a mantra. it will have these 6 things associated. So let us say Gayatri Mantra. Who is the Rishi? Vishwamitra Rishi. Then who is the Devata? Surya Devata. Chandas. Gayatri is the Chandas. Then Bija. I have to find out. Technically, I don't remember now. But when we do this Havana, in that we say all this. Bhurbhuva Swaha, I think, is the Bija. Kilakam Shakti, it will be something in the mantra only it will be. So the idea is to understand these. So for any mantra, I should first know these 6. Then I can use the mantra properly. What are the types of mantras? Sattvic mantras are meant for sattvic unfoldment, peace, quietude, purity of mind, devotion. Rajasic mantras are meant for prosperity, to get wealth, to get abundance, to have progeny, all that, health. Tamasic are to harm somebody, destroy somebody. The Vidyas, Tantra Vidya and all is there, or black magic also is there. Many things are there like that. Kritya it is called. They leave the Kritya behind you. So those are for Tamasic mantras. Now don't get scared, oh God, then, my mind has not been working properly last few days. I think because somebody has done some black magic on me. Don't think any of that. If mind is strong, nothing will happen. It will go back to that person only. How do I choose a mantra? Best is to get initiation from a Sadguru who knows you, understands you, who knows your level of evolution. Take from that person. If that is not possible, personally take it in mass from that person. Sometimes they do mass Diksha. Each one will choose their mantra and the Sadguru who is present there, he or she will, with their power of Sankalpa, bless all people. Mass. Or pray to Bhagwan, please tell me which is the mantra. Or choose one by yourself of the deity who is inspiring to you. Ishtadevata. Now, mantra can be choose the name of the Lord who is dearest to you and then hold on to that one name only. Don't change. Many people keep changing mantra very fast. One mantra only. Maximum one Gayatri mantra, bas. Gayatri mantra and Ishta mantra. Nothing more than that. And the reason is, don't say that for health I will do Mrityunjay, for wealth I will do Lakshmi, and for removal of obstacle I will do Ganeshji's mantra, and then for something else I will do something, and Shani mantra separate, and Guru mantra separate. No need. You may try these mantras and find out in which one the mind abides the best. After you find that, no changing. Stick to one. Because mantra doesn't give. People think if I chant Gayatri mantra, I will get brilliant intellect. If I do Mrityunjay mantra, I will get good health. Mantra is not giving. Mantra is connecting me to what? To Bhagwan. Blessings are coming from where? Bhagwan. Maximum mantra can only produce vibration. That's all. Blessing comes from the Lord alone. And whichever mantra you chant, you tune to the Lord. Whatever you need, Bhagwan will give. So one only. Simple. And Gayatri. Ishta mantra and Gayatri. Now mantra can be Vedic mantra. So all these Om, Gayatri, Mrityunjay mantra, Namah Shivaya, Gam Ganapate Namah, these are all Vedic mantra. Or Puranic mantras. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Those are all Puranic mantras. But what is important is, though Vedic mantra is more powerful than Puranic mantras, that mantra must be inspiring to us. If my mind doesn't abide in that mantra, then there is no point. If I don't have devotion for that deity, there is no point. So choose mantra which is inspiring. Now, how to use this mala? So why to use the mala? In the beginning, mala is a big tool, big help to prevent the mind from wandering. So this is the way. First, take your ring finger and then touch your thumb to this ring finger. Now it will be closed. Now the mala cannot fall. Okay. This is the Meru. In a mala, this bead is called as the Meru. So this Meru is the symbol of Bhagwan. So sometimes we have an altar in front of us, sometimes we don't have. But in either case, symbolically, before we start japa, we seek blessings of Bhagwan that may my mind abide in the japa. So we touch the Meru to our eyes and to the heart. Symbolically, we are prostrating to the Lord. That's the bhav. Eyes and the heart. And then bring the mala onto the ring finger, close the thumb, and with the middle finger, now turn the bead inward. Om Namah Shivaya. After chanting, turn the bead inward. Om Namah Shivaya, turn. Om Namah Shivaya, turn. Om Namah Shivaya, turn. Don't turn and keep chanting. One keeps on turning just like that. Mind is wandering. Then the mala's purpose is not served. Mala is to make me aware that only after I finish chanting, the bead will turn. So if my mind has wandered away, the bead will not turn. So the moment the movement stops here, then what happens? I can realize, array, mind has wandered. Come back fast. So without the mala, if I take some 2-3 minutes to come back after wandering, with the mala, it will happen very fast. Maybe half a minute, 1 minute. Because this movement will stop. And especially if it is a short mantra, then it will become more easy to identify. If it's a long mantra, then becomes more challenge. But either ways, it is better to do with a mala than to do without it in the beginning. And also mala will store the vibration of yours, of your chanting as well as your vibration also, it will store. So mala should not be shared. Don't give your mala to somebody. Don't take somebody's mala. Keep it. So now once you finish this, then what should be done? When this japa gets over, when you reach the last bead, then what to do? This is the Meru. So nobody will cross it, meaning Bhagwan is the greatest. Nobody can cross the Lord and transcend that boundary. So now the last bead you turn. Between the ring finger and middle finger, keep the last bead. Put the thumb below and turn. Now this will again become the first bead. Now again start. See, if the mala is short, no, then turning will come fast. So the alertness also is much more. Because the person has to be alert to turn it. If mala is very long, 108, 216, 512, then it becomes more and more and more, longer. Mind goes on, mind goes to sleep very fast. So shorter the mala. So Gurudev used to have a mala he used to wear only in the, on his wrist. It's only 27 bead. So it gets over also very fast. You don't have to stop it in between. It will get over very fast. And then you again wear it, again remove, again do. Now this is one method. Turning is a little challenging, but as you practice, it will happen. The turning of the last bead. Suppose you find this difficult from ring finger and this index finger, the thumb. If ring finger is difficult to do, then hold on the middle finger. That is another method to do japa. Either way, this finger is out. This finger is the finger of ego. So you remove it. So place on the middle finger, bend it. Now again the mala cannot fall. You bend it properly. Now with the thumb, move the bead. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So now you are holding the mala between these two, ring finger and the small finger. Hold the mala between and now move. Now it can't fall. So I'm holding it here, it is blocked. Now how do I hold what is the position of my hand while doing the japa? Like this. Hand is parallel to the body, chest. Not like this. You will have a lot of pain. Not even like this. Sometimes people sit and then the mala is on the ground. Again, it becomes dirty. Technically, if you ask the people who do mantra japa, they will say mala should not go below the navel. So this is the best position. Heart is the position. In front of the heart, you do hold this and move the bead. If you like, use a gomukhi, the bag which comes. So if at all the mala falls also, it will fall in the gomukhi only. So this is one another method. Middle finger you keep, and with the thumb you keep rotating. And when you come to the last bead, what will you do there? Again the same thing. Again turn. So you come to the last one. And again turn. Again start. Over. Once you learn this, so even without opening the eyes, you can do. Just turn. Over. Start. No need to open the eyes, see nothing. Now this mala, as I said, is a tool for developing single pointedness. 1. 2, it is also very important for quantity. Because you see, our mind is very erratic. One day it will do 2 minutes japa, another day it will do 10 minutes, third day it will do 30 minutes, then another 10 days it will not do anything. Again after that it will wake up saying, no, I have to do japa. So one should take a niyam that every day I will do this much japa. Whatever may be the number. You may say I'll do only 27 times. Okay, then stick to 27 minimum. Don't look left and right. No, but sometimes I don't feel like doing. That's the time I should do more. So japa has to be done using a mala. So if you say I will do one mala, this is 54 beads. So if I say I do one mala, every day one. And if you can fix the time, best. So mala helps to keep quantity also. Those of you who did the Gita course, I gave you a counter. Because counter is more easy. Keep doing tuck, 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 tuck. And like you have steps nowadays, no? This. Watch. It'll keep a count of the steps. Like that, that counter will keep a track. As you are walking also, you can keep on pressing. So at the end of the day, you should see 10,000 steps over, like that 10,000 japa over or not. Whatever number you set for yourself, anything. So mala helps in that. Now 10 essentials for japa to make japa most effective. First is the time. If I am able to fix a time, best. If I am able to do first thing in the morning, ideal. If I can't do first thing in the morning, if I can at least keep the time fixed, whatever time it may be, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, night time, evening time, whenever. Fix the time. If that also is not possible, then fix at least duration. I will do 10 minutes of japa, or I will do 3 malas, whatever it is. So fix a time. Don't say now this time is over, Swamiji, actually I fixed 6 o'clock, but 10 days I don't got up at 6, then didn't get up at 6 o'clock only. So no japa. No. Better than not doing is fix some other time and then do it. But time consistency helps because the mind becomes quiet very soon. Because it knows this is the time to do japa, it becomes quiet. Then place also. I said no, place will localize vibration. Mala will localize vibration. Place will also localize vibration. Like if we want to play sport, where will we go? Tennis if you want to play, where will you go? Court. The court has an ambience and then it creates a bhav, its mood. Same way. So place. Then direction. So one should ideally sit facing the north or facing the east. Both are directions of knowledge. So face sitting that way. Asan. Definitely use an asan. It can be a simple mat or even a simple bed sheet. And asan also means a posture. So if you are able to sit whether on the ground or on the chair, doesn't matter. But as much as one can, keep the body, the neck and the head in a straight line. Again, as we don't share the mala, we should not share the asana also. Energy gets stored. If suppose somebody has taken it, don't worry, oh my God, my energy is now taken away by this person now. Nothing like that. Don't worry about all that. Those are things which are happening, so we should be aware, but not so important. Picture an idol. The altar must be there, because when the mind wanders, then what will we do? Open the eyes, see the form or whatever the support is. Suppose it is Shivalinga or a Shaligram. Then I open the eyes and see, again visualize that and start my japa. So in the beginning, altar is again very, very crucial, important. Then pranayam. Before the japa actually starts, try and get the breathing in a rhythm. Internal, external breathing. If you can breathe in a particular ratio, great. Otherwise, simple, deep inhalation and exhalation. Slow, steady and deep. Then start with the mala. As we said, start the japa after prostrating to the Meru. And when the japa ends also, again we prostrate to the Lord, who is the Meru. And then put it back. Now the mala, generally the mala for japa and the mala for wearing should be separate. But if you want to use the mala for wearing itself to do japa, then you are welcome to do. The mala which we wear, suppose it's a Rudraksha mala. Now you can wear outside or you can wear inside. If you want the effect of it on the body, it should be worn inside, touching the body. Or it can be worn outside and use it for a japa. In both the cases, every few days put it in some warm water with little bit of soap and wash it. Mala should be clean. And don't worry, vibrations don't get washed away with that. Some people are very scared about it. Arey, vibration bhi chala jayega uske saath. No, it won't go. Chant metrically. If it is a Vedic mantra, then chant with the proper meter. Then the right sound vibrations will get created. It will have a good effect on the BMI. Fix the quantity, and no matter what happens, minimum that quantity one should set and complete. Because when we start, once you start now, then you will know also. Some of you may be doing also, but suppose you say 108, just one mala. By the time you do half a mala, the mind says, "Aaj ke liye bas bahut kaam baki hai baba. Kya Om Namah Shivaya laga rakha hai. Baad mein karo chalo." That is also seva of Bhagwan only. Leave it. The mind wants to do that. Any quantity you fix 27, it will stay by 11, 12, it will start saying कि भाई बहुत हो गया. पहले तो मैं इतना भी नहीं करता था, अब तो इतना कर रहा हूँ. There's a great progress. Something the mind will say. So fix a quantity and don't get up without doing the quantity. And then contemplate on the meaning. Traditionally, if you see some sadhus and mahatmas will also say a body, water body is crucial. If you sit near a water body and do japa, it has much more power and much more ability to make the mind quiet. So they will find today where we will go find a river. So the alternate they give is take one katori of water and keep. Because water has a calming effect. It has many other aspects, so it will help in japa also. So these are 10 essentials for japa. Now how to repeat the mantra? Very important, with devotion and single pointedness, not mechanically just like that. You can start with soft and slow, make it loud and fast, then soft and slow again. You can chant mentally after that and then witness the chanting, be silent. If you want to contemplate on the meaning after chanting mentally, you can do that also. Important is, if the mind wanders, what to do? Bring it back. And if it's not again mechanical aspect, invoke love in the heart and then again start. Don't just bring it back and start and push the mind with willpower. No, invoke devotion again. Suppose it is Shivji, then What are the good qualities of Shivji? How great he is? What are the leelas of Shivji? How Shivji has blessed you in your life? Invoke the bhav and then again start. There is not a question of just mechanically repeating. And if you feel sleepy, open the eyes, see the form of the Lord, again close, again start. Don't say that my body deserves rest. So after that again I get up and sometime then do japa and again. People give in to sleep. The first obstacle that comes in meditation is sleep. Then comes wandering of the mind. First comes nidra. Then comes vikshepa. Then comes kashaya. Impurities of the mind will come out. Then comes rasaswad. You start enjoying the joy of japa, that you forget Bhagwan and you forget Sachidanand and Samadhi, everything. Advanced Vedanta course ka jo bhi sab padha tha, Shravan, Mana, Nididhyasan, all gone. Why? Japa is so nice. The joy I feel in japa, Because single-pointedness brings a lot of joy. I'll get attached to that joy. Rasaswad it is called. Swami kab pahunchenge udhar? Aayenge, don't worry. That also one has to leave and steadily then contemplate on the meaning of the mantra and realize the self. So, sleep one should not give into. Open the eyes and see. Please remember, this is only after you have had enough sleep. If you have not had enough sleep, my suggestion is catch up enough sleep, then start doing japa. Fix a time like that. If you know that you are going to stay up till late night, your work is such or your commitments are such, you are going to be up till late night, then don't insist that you have to get up in Brahma Muhurat only and start at 4 o'clock. Then you may feel sleepy. If you are like Arjun who has mastered sleep, then I don't have anything to say. But if you are not like that, then what to do? Set up a time which is like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock or whatever time you are fresh. Then get up and do at that time. Don't feel that, Arey, Brahma Muhurat went away now. What happens? Nothing. You start. Because otherwise there is no way to distinguish whether this is sleep which is because the body has been deprived, or this is sleep because the mind is just distracting me, from meditation. It doesn't want to meditate, so sleep. No. Now what do you focus on while you chant? Either you can focus on the form of the Lord. So if it is Om Namah Shivaya, while chanting, then focus. Please remember, this focus of the form is required only because the mind is tuned with name and form. Suppose you are able to focus only on the sound, not on the alphabets of the mantra, not on the form, and the mind is not thinking any form, then that is good. But sometimes what happens, people don't say, no, I don't believe in form, I will focus on the sound. So sound-wise, they are focusing on Namah Shivaya. But the mind is thinking of some other object. The picture of some other object or some other person is there in the head. Then it is not correct. Then you focus on the form of Shiva only and then sound of Om Namah Shivaya. So it depends on our level of evolution. Concentrate on the sound. As one goes deeper, concentrate on the silence between the two chantings. Which means I should slow down the chanting. And you can contemplate on the meaning also. So now these are a few aspects about japa. When to do japa now? Every day a fixed quantity, as we discussed, that is a must. No changes in that. No, but Swamiji, when I go for morning walk, my japa finishes in the morning walk only. No, that is extra. Because see, our body is engaged at that time. We are extroverted. Mind's attention is outside. We need to sit quietly and withdraw the attention and chant. For that I have to sit and do. Not while walking, talking, laughing, eating. No, that is all extra. So at other times, then what can I do? When I wake up, before I eat food, I can take a mantram break. When I'm at work, Any such negative emotions overwhelm us, anger, fear, jealousy, greed, start mantra japa. Or if we become positive, excited, elated through some success, some achievement, and we are losing our equanimity, chant that time also. When you don't feel confident, chant. On 19th, you'll have the opportunity. Keep on chanting till your name comes and the question comes. Then you can walk from there also chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Bhagavan gives simple question, simple question, simple question. हाँ करेंगे ना, क्यों नहीं करेंगे? It will be good ना. देखो सिंपल चीज बताऊं मैं, एडवांस वेदांत कोर्स का सार क्या है? यू आर नॉट द ईगो, यू आर ब्रह्मन. मैक्सिमम क्या होगा? आई डोंट नो द आंसर, आई विल मेक अ फूल ऑफ माई सेल्फ. आई एम नॉट दैट एनीवेज. इफ आई नो द आंसर आई विल फील इलेटेड. आई एम नॉट दैट एनीवेज. तो क्या फर्क पड़ा? फर्क तो कुछ पड़ा ही नहीं ना. प्रैक्टिकल, एवरीबडी वांट्स टू नो हाउ टू अप्लाई प्रैक्टिकली. नाउ अप्लाई. यू आर नॉट दैट एनीवेज, यू आर नॉट दैट. तो क्या फर्क क्या पड़ रहा है? Whether you know it or you don't know it, final truth is this much only कि you are Brahman. Correct? That is the essence, no? And maybe some new people are sitting, your family, friends and all that. They may tell you something. You tell them, यही मैंने सीखा. देखो, I am so स्थित प्रज्ञ. It doesn't affect me at all. You also learn. I am not joking. I to do that only. I am also walking the path, Baba. I am telling you, in our Vedant course, when we were, they used to tell like this only. What they will do, they will say, now this is the shloka. You prepare today. All of us will prepare on the same shloka. Then in the satsang, somebody will be called. Come, now talk. After the bhajans are over, Aarti, after that bhajans, and then some brahmachari, one of them will be picked up by the acharya or a swami, whoever is teaching us, will say, come, now speak. Now we have to go and sit and speak. And there's, in temple we are sitting, so there is other general public also sitting there. So it's not only to your batchmates you are talking to everybody. So I used to prepare like that and go, okay, whatever happens, anyway I am not this. So no tension. But the ego will bring some tension. The sadhana is to tell the ego, you are not this, you are Brahman. So why are you worried? Brahman is abhaya pratishtham vindate. So you be fearless. Just now we learned, no? Atha para brahmatmana sthiyatam. So Brahman is fearless, Brahman is compassionate, Brahman is immortal. So all that I can apply. And really it is practical, I am telling you. All this hurt and all this happens, na? That time you can tell yourself, I am not this, so who is hurt? Brahman cannot be hurt. I am Brahman. Over. No, Swamiji, we can't apply this. It's only a mind block in our mind. I can't apply this. I can apply because I am Brahman, whether know it or not, accept it or not. I am Brahman or not. Can Amitabh Bachchan say that, suppose he looks at Hrithik Roshan and he says, you are a billionaire, you can apply. I can't apply. I am still walking the path. From a beggar, I have to become a billionaire. Arey, but you are already billionaire, whether you know it or not. You just have to apply. The moment you apply, you are that. That's all. It's a question of intensity and application that comes from my conviction. That's it. I can apply. So now to all the more confirmed that it is happening on 19th. It is called what, lot of these youth festivals and college festivals and all they do, even schools nowadays they do, it's called jam. Jam, you heard, no? Jam. Just a minute. So whatever topic comes, you have to talk on it for 1 minute. I will have a timer. Your time starts now. Talk. Atma, 1 minute, talk. On Maya, you talk. On Atad Vyavritti Lakshana, talk. What is that? चलो इंग्लिश में लिख के दे देंगे आपको, इंग्लिश में भी लिख के दे देंगे, नो प्रॉब्लम. माया, टॉक ऑन माया. Nice it will be. I'm really telling you. Everybody will get a revision also. Plus your ability to express, you will improve. You will become fearless also. And you can practically apply, I am not this. And some of you have done Foundation Vedanta course. Now you are completing, you have finished Bhagavad Gita course also. Now you are completing Advanced Vedanta course also. अभी भी आप अप्लाई नहीं करोगे तो फिर कब करोगे? You can apply definitely saying, I am not this entity at all. हाँ तो अभी है ना, परसों तक ब्रह्म बन सकते हैं आप, परसों तक. Yeah, but if you're intellectually convinced, immediately you'll start application. Too short a time. Whenever this public speaking will come, na, it will always be too short a time. I'm telling you. You have to just jump. Swimming ऐसा ही होता है. पानी में कूदना पड़ता है. कितनी बार बुक पढ़ते रहोगे स्विमिंग का? 3 बुक पढ़ चुके हो आप अब तक. अब कूदो, कुछ नहीं होगा. Last is this. You can chant the mantra while you are waiting for a bus or doing any mundane task, and you can also dedicate it to someone else. Mantra has great power. You know, people do Reiki and energy. They give energy to somebody and heal somebody far away. Like that, this mantra also has power. We are invoking grace of Bhagavan on them. It will work. Whether we know it or not, whether we see it or not in the way we expect, it will still affect their mind and their body, both. So we can dedicate and chant, and the chanting should be done with enough Shraddha. It will affect not only people who are living, it will affect even people who are departed. Which is why we chant the Gita chanting and Garud Puran and so many things after the Jiva has departed also. So mantra, great power. And definitely at night before you go to sleep, this is a very special sadhana. Night, if you keep chanting before you go to sleep, in Foundation Vedanta course also this comes. Whole night the mind will chant the mantra, and that mantra goes deep into the subconscious mind. That japa is called ajapa japa. Cleansing of the subconscious mind happens. So many of all these bad dreams and horror dreams and fears and all that, none of that will come. It will all just disappear, vanish. And I'll tell you the best part of that. You will have Bhagwan's darshan also in the dream. Not your hallucination, not your imagination. Darshan of Bhagwan in the dream will happen. Waking में नहीं हो रहा स्वामी जी, ड्रीम में कहाँ से होने वाला है? होगा. So many saints' lives, if you read, they have got darshan of Bhagwan in the dream. Bhagwan has told them, go here, do this, I am down in this, you bring me up from here, this is the murti here, establish this there, all that. You may say, no, it is the subconscious mind playing a trick. Nothing. Subconscious mind playing a trick is different. Bhagwan giving darshan is different. Very clear differences are there in it. So one should know. And so many Mahatmas have spoken about it. Out of their experience only they are speaking. So in the night before going to sleep, this is the best way to fall asleep, is keep chanting the name of the Lord and glide into sleep. Even if you drop the body in such a condition, there is no problem. Why? Because I've remembered Bhagwan and then drop the body. So antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram. That's the best. So this is what is about japa. So mantra japa we did. 6 aspects of the mantra. Huh? There will be books. No, I don't know any site or anything. I generally refer to different books. So I don't know one book which has all, but I'm sure there must be available. You can do some research on this thing and find out. A lot of traditional books will have. Yeah, I don't know any one book. Like I said, you see, Vishnu Sahasranam has in that itself. Gita has in that itself. What one can do is find out the mantra for which one wants to know and then do some research. You will find the Rishi, Devata, Kilakam, everything. Sometimes there are books which mention also. If you go to some of these like Giri stores or I think Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan also, you will find books dedicated specific for mantra japa, mantra yoga, power of mantras like that. From there you will get. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi